Yeah. What?
We just have a size differential. Look how low that is.
Oh, that's just because I'm squatting down a little bit.
Okay.
What? Are you talking about you? I could get a booster seat.
Eyes look so blue.
It's because they are so blue.
Didn't people used to think that were like matching eyes? Didn't people ask if we were siblings whenever we hang out?
I'm not sure, but I used to when I was young. Like there were these I was probably I don't know, 8 or 9, and there were these older girls up the street that were like 14 and 15, and they all knew me, and they'd be like, Sean O'Shea! And they'd literally surround me, and I was both conflicted, this is really cool, and I was also really embarrassed because all the other guys were watching, all my friends, and they'd be, let us look at your eyes. And that was back when my eyes were really, really blue, and they probably mellowed a little bit, but they would literally
Your eyes
gather.
Are very blue. Your eyes.
Yours are way bluer than mine.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
We have similar eyes. Look at guys.
No, you've got more crystal blue. I've got more dog do blue.
No, you don't.
Well, I mean, in the best way.
Sean has this really thing. Sean is like,
I'll
never forget.
Analyzation time?
No. I'll never forget when I first met Sean, he would tell me that he would cut his eyelashes. Oh, I think I told it you guys
this
before.
is intimate information.
Well, I'm sorry, but who trims their eyelashes? Every girl, girls get eyelashes done. They get them added.
You know why though?
Because they curl, which is another thing that girls do.
Right. But they would curl in because the way I sleep this on a pillow or this way, and it would just push the eyelashes in, and so they'd get tangled. Honestly, it's a weird thing. I got a weird thing.
To have too many eyelashes, so many eyelashes that they get tangled, that's
It's mostly about my sleep habits. And so so I've had to take matters into my own hands to make sure that otherwise it's really uncomfortable. I can feel the lashes tangled, and it's no, I don't think anyone's ever noticed that I
No, you can't notice because even when you
wrangle my
trim them,
eyelashes.
they're still great.
Thank you. That's why the girls they're let me see your eyes, I love it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. Anyways, okay. So today we were talking with T-Money. T-Money was here, Tony, our head board trainer, and he was telling an interesting story about working with was it a dogo or a Kanye?
It's a Kanye Corso mixed with a shepherd.
Or a Kanye Corso. And Tony, did he come in for reactivity stuff?
Yeah, major reactivity on the walk.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so Tony has been doing this good work and rocking the house, and the dog's been doing great. And then Tony started to let's be buddies. And Tony was
the dog was doing awesome.
Yeah.
And so he was softening up and doing all this stuff. And Tony's God, this is so great. He's just giving him a little bit more soft stuff, a little bit more pets. He even said and this is really good for you guys to hear.
This is so good for you guys to hear.
This whole story, but just the detail of it. Not he was putting the dog on the couch and no.
There was no cradling.
No, we're talking, he said that when I let him out for a potty, I'd scratch him on the back and good boy, ruffle his feathers a bit.
Yeah.
Really minor stuff that a lot of people would be oh, this is no big deal. But he did it. And
he went out for a walk, and the dog gave him absolute pandemonium, crazy, I'll knock your block off reactivity. And Tony was ah!
Tony was so hurt.
Yeah, he was I thought we were friends. I thought we connected. And it's a really good example, guys, of soft stuff. This is so hard because it's probably the hardest part of dog training is having owners adjust their relationship, not just train and not just lifestyle, not just structure, but how you interact and engage with certain dogs. Not every dog, but with certain dogs. Boy, you share soft stuff, especially if you haven't laid a massive foundation. That dog goes like for Tony, that dog comes in, Tony's firm with him, the dog goes, okay, cool, here's the rules, here's the structure, here are the boundaries I'm allowed to play within. And then all of a sudden a little soft stuff comes and he goes, oh, cool, rules go out the window, I can go back to what I used to do.
Right.
And so if you've got one of those firm, pushy, bratty, more assertive dogs, you're gonna have to be so cautious about affection stuff, because it can literally, like, I'm so scroogey with it. Like, you see me work with dogs, like, they have to so earn that. I mean, I have to be 100% sure that they've gotten over the hump and are in a very respectful space.
Yep.
The famous story with Laura and Polar Bear, you guys have probably all heard it, but the real quick, brief, succinct version is he was doing great. He used to redirect and bite the bejesus out of her. He was doing great. She said, well, he's so great. Why don't we reward him like Tony with a little scruff on the neck, except a little time on the bed, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Like maybe that. Yeah, like it was like we were reading, and like it wasn't like, oh,
you guys
sleep
reading
on
together,
the bed.
like a bedtime story. There once was a German Shepherd who loved bloodletting, and so, anyways, she went out for a walk with him. He had been doing really well, rocking and rolling, being respectful. She went out with him the next day, and he bit the crap out of her.
Yep.
Let that be a lesson to you. Now, that doesn't mean that like.
Doesn't mean all dogs.
No, it certainly doesn't mean all dogs, but boy, if you've got one of those dogs, it's so imperative, it's so important that you check in and are aware of what you've got, because that dynamic, like, just like human beings, like if you guys can wrap your heads around this, just like human beings walk into a business meeting or a social gathering or family dynamic, anything, we all are programmed to suss out immediately, like boom, 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 boom. Who stands where, hierarchy, how we can push, even it's unconscious, what we can get away with, what we can't get away with. Oh, that, my sister's firm, I'm very respectful with her. Dad can be pushed, or little cousin can be pushed, or, business meeting, we know Larry is allowed, I can like push him around and he doesn't really come back at me, but Susan, pooh, you don't, like, we're all programmed to figure out what can we get away with. It's just the way it is. And so the less assertive, the less pushy, the less bratty your dog, the less that stuff goes down. Of course, conversely, the more pushy, bratty, assertive your dog, the more that dog is going to take advantage when moments present themselves for the dog to take advantage. And that's probably going to be a good dog bites, or TGD bites, because that was rocking. So anyways, let that be a lesson to you. We tried to also get Tony's jeans that got the crotch torn out of them the other day.
He wouldn't give them up.
But his wife threw them out. So a dog tore the crotch out of his pants. And God, I would have given...
His own dog. I would have loved to have video of that.
Yeah. He's got a giant Roddy, and with a very special dog in the neighborhood that his Roddy hates, and Tony corrected him. I think Tony actually went higher than he intended to, startled Astro.
And the dog was already amped. Like we talk about, if your dog's already amped, you don't want to be correcting at that time. You just want to chalk it up to,
Miss moment. Tony was like a little slow in the draw, and what he got was, somebody was quick on the draw, and Astro literally tore the crotch out of his jeans. And luckily, as Chris the painter, who was here doing this, said, who's also a relative of Tony's, said, I hope it was a cold day, Tony. And apparently it was, because Tony managed to remain intact.
Yes.
So anyways, shit happens, right? There's going to be times you're going to be working with dogs, and can be even your own dog, where you can run into trouble. We're all going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. Tony's a badass and trains the crap out of dogs like nobody's business, but stuff happens. So I wanted those jeans. I wanted to frame them up, and they got thrown out. So maybe we'll recreate them, like tear a pair of jeans. Anyways, okay, I want to jam through this. So TGD workshop.
TGD workshop.
Talk about it.
August 13th and August 14th. This is a problem-solving workshop.
Slash.
Oh,
I'll give you that too.
We were...
No. It's just a slash.
Well, it is kind of a slash, because problem-solving, what we're doing one in July that's sold out, which is an e-collar workshop.
Exclusively.
Yeah, and then we're going to do
But it also involves problem solving
Oh,
of
yeah.
like e-collar
yeah.
work, right?
So we could have
Right.
just called them both problem solving / e-collar. But basically, if you wanted to go to the e-collar workshop and you missed out because you were slow on the draw, you can come to this one and we can work e-collar stuff. So whatever problem you have, if it's e-collar training, we'll work on it. Any other sort of problem stuff.
Prong collar training,
Prong collar training.
dog aggression issues, reactivity issues,
Yep.
resource guarding, you name it, we're down for checking it out.
We're down for it.
Yeah.
You just need to, like, if you've got dog issues or human issues, we're just gonna have you muzzle condition your dog and bring them muzzled, and we'll work through some stuff.
Yeah, and we're kind of excited because it adds an extra dimension to the workshop for us. So it allows us to kind of move in some different directions, help some people with some different stuff. So I'm kind of excited about it.
Definitely.
So did that date get like linked up? Ding, ding,
Yes.
ding. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So just email me, bing,
Yeah.
if you want.
And those dates are August
13th and 14th.
13th and 14th. So that's coming, and it's going to be badass, and it's going to be here in Chatsworth.
Yep.
So come join us, guys, and have a good time. And if you're struggling with your dog, let us take a shot at sorting it out for you. We'd really like to help.
$500 for a working spot with a dog, $300 for just hanging and watching, and
I pay that just to hang out with you.
I know. With me?
Yeah.
You see me every day.
Well, I mean, if you brought brownies and coffee and stuff like that.
$295 to
Yeah, well, and that too. Okay. All right. So anything else that we want to wrap about?
Your beard is out of
scruffy
control.
beard is out of control. My razor arrived today, my new electric
I saw
razor.
it.
You saw that?
I can't wait to use it on the dogs.
Don't you dare. So there will be a clean shaven me coming soon. And I think we're good. Dog sucks.
Okay.
You ready? Stay away from my razor.
Okay. Question
I was
number 1.
reprimanded off camera.
Oh, you weren't. I was just warning you. It's weird.
No, I know.
It's like hearing someone
I
chew
do this
right
like
in the...
swishing because my mouth is dry.
Yeah.
And then it picks up really loudly here, and it sounds
loud.
disgusting. And then you guys are repulsed, and then you don't come back to Q&A Saturday. So I'm slowly destroying the empire. Okay, hit it, lady.
Number 1 comes from Lindsey. Lindsey
A lot
says...
of BS this episode.
Yes. Lindsey says, I've been working with my 2 male Weimaraners on e-collar for a month now, and they're doing great. Did you hear that? I actually pronounced the name right.
Weimaraners.
Weimaraners. They can be hard-headed sometimes, so we're still learning the non-negotiable part of this whole training thing. My question is that my younger one, who's 3, almost 4, has a really strong prey drive. He'll chase after other dogs, especially smaller submissive ones, like terrified puppies, and nip at their neck and bellies.
Bratty.
No
pants.
teeth or growling, but just bullying and intense chasing behavior like the other dogs.
We call that shitty behavior.
Like the other dogs are rabbits or squirrels, and he only picks the dogs who absolutely don't want to play in this way. The solution has been to leash walk everywhere if the other dog's around, which works really well because they're great on leash now.
Right.
If we go to the dog park, I keep him on his leash and he's perfectly fine. How do I train my knucklehead boy to greet gently and kindly and not terrorize other dogs? I've been too afraid to just see what happens even on the e-collar because I don't want to have another incident of him scaring another dog.
Right.
We're getting ready to move to Portland where he will be around many more dogs and will be open boarded at a facility out there. I want him to be a sweet greeter by the time we move in 2 months. Thank you guys so much. Your methods have already changed my life and relationship with my dogs, and I can't wait to learn more. Oh, Lindsey,
Love
that's
it,
so
love
sweet.
it, love it, love it, Lindsay.
So nice.
Okay, cool. Let me jump in.
Jump.
Okay, do I have a timer? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I wouldn't have said it, I could have maybe dodged
I
the
like
timer.
your profile pic, Lindsey. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
Sorry I peep all you guys. It's just
Yeah. So
public.
if you think you're gonna like get away with her not knowing who you are,
public.
Good luck.
She's a yoga instructor.
Okay. So great question, Lindsay. First thing I'd do is I'd work really hard on creating a super bomb-proof recall, right? So you're 2 weeks in, if I'm not mistaken, 2 weeks into e-collar training.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me check.
Yeah, just double check. But I'm pretty sure you're 2 weeks into e-collar training.
No, for a month. That she has two male Weimaraners.
Two male Weimaraners,
For
and
a
she's
month.
in for a month. Okay, you're still pretty early. It's still pretty early in the process. So what I'd look to do is I'd look to build an absolute immaculate bomb-proof recall, and that I would like. I think you said the recall was kind of like not like fantastic. I would want to do that in the house to start. Then I'd want to start doing it out around more distractions, long line on the dog at all times. You can use a 50-footer. Then I would want to move out around seeing other dogs at a distance, recalling your dogs from a short distance, 5 feet, 10 feet, 15, 25, 30 feet, recalling your dog off off of dogs over and over and over and over again until you get absolute confidence that your dog will recall away from a dog no matter what. And if you have to use higher levels to make that happen, then absolutely, once you've fairly trained recall or any of these other commands, it's time to say accountability time in order to change the state of mind. You keep undermining or underwhelming the dog with lower corrections, and he's going to keep prioritizing, like, I love to chase, I love to go do this stuff. So this is kind of a double-pronged approach. I want this recall to be bomb-proof because I want you to be able to practice, because there's a big psychological shift for dogs when they want to do something and you can recall them away from it over and over and over again. It takes the juicy, like, this whole kind of anticipation and build-up. It really dismantles that. Now, once you get that done and you can actually get your dog to recall away from dogs really, really reliably, then you eventually want to lose the long line. I know it can be scary, but once you've got a good recall, you should be really solid, and your dog should be pretty damn solid. You may even want to start with just one dog as you do this. Yeah. And then you're going to start putting your dog around other dogs, and what I want you to do is you can practice both recalling them away, but I also want you to practice anytime you see bullying silliness from your dog, which is like, you know what it looks like, paw over the back, head over the shoulder, ramrodding other dogs, or just pressuring and pushing these dogs that are like, man, I don't want anything to do with it. It's super unfair and it's super crappy behavior. What people don't understand is that once you've trained fairly with the e-collar and your dog's conditioned to it, you can absolutely, and we do it all the time, use like lower level corrections to say, knock off the crap. Now, you don't have to say anything, you don't have to create a command to it, no freaking leave-its, no like anything else. All you have to do is be in range of your dog, watch what he's doing. Your dog goes over to hassle another dog, and like Laura does it all the time with, like, if Cujo is like, he's got a thing for Manny and he likes to like kind of pressure him. It's not bad natured, but it's annoying for Manny. All she does is tap the button and he goes, whoa, I shouldn't be around Manny. I want you to think about it like that. I want you to think about, like, with this fantastic collar, this e-collar, once your dog understands it, he's not going to think it's the other dog biting him. Don't blow his mind at 100. Start low and feel it out. And when he starts to get snotty or nasty, tap that button. Don't say anything. Stay calm. And you should see a change, right? He's going to go paw over, correction, and he's going to go, whoa, that's uncomfortable. Or head over, correction, that's not so comfortable. Or barreling into another dog, pop, oh, that's not so comfortable. And then recall him away. I would go for a real combination of practicing both of those. So like intimate interactions, behave yourself and be polite, but also when I call you, get your ass over here away from other dogs. I'm cursing a lot this one. I'm pulling off the gloves.
Weimaraners.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to keep up with you from last week when you laid it all out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right? Remember, who was it that said, like, I guess I don't have to be shy around Laura. So anyways, this is where we let it all hang out. But that's what I would do, and I'm telling you, I've worked with my own dogs and I've worked with a ton of other dogs, that it's super easy to start cultivating better choices with the e-collar. That's what's so great about it.
It's really disempowering for an empowered dog to always have to be what Sean says, like the hop to, like, oh, where do you want me to come? Oh, you want me to come to you? Oh, okay. Like your dog that's out there pushing around the other dogs and being a bully, all of a sudden he has to come to you when he's called every single time. He's like, oh, it just changes the game. It's like if you see a bully on the playground with kids and all of a sudden the teacher comes out and the bully's like, oh,
no, I got it.
Not fear, but just like, oh, I'm going to act normal.
Respect.
Yeah. And I think the other thing, are you done?
I'm great. I may jump back in if I'm inspired.
Please jump. I was just going to say, my guess is that this isn't the only place he acts a fool. So I know for Cujo, it certainly doesn't live in a vacuum. There are a lot of places that and Cujo's more good-natured about stuff, but the parts where
he's not looking to fight or
he's not looking to, like, he's just like, oh, playtime. But like, I would say that you're probably, oh my God, we never introduced the show. I just remembered.
Jeez. But after this question, we'll introduce it, then maybe we'll like and reinsert it.
Basically,
we're so unprofessional.
Yeah. Basically, we have, if there are other moments where your dog's being a bully. I can imagine they are. I don't know if it's
or even just
own
pushy,
dog or, yeah.
pushy in the crate, thresholds, on the walk, anything like that. All that stuff.
Yeah.
And just to close that out, that's really good information. Look for your dog in all contexts to be really polite. But here's the thing, as you build this recall, build it fairly and slowly until it's bomb-proof. And that's why I said long line on, no dogs around, no distractions, get that rocking, then start to add more distractions, then add dogs, short distances, longer distances, longer distances, until your dog can be walking by another dog. You call him, boom, heads right back. That's the work I want you to do. You should be able to knock this out in a month and have dogs that you're like, wow, I've got the best dogs on the block.
Definitely.
Cool?
And yeah, that you know, real quick, just a quick note on just what we do at a board and train.
Yeah.
If I got your intake form, your contact form, and you talked to me on the phone, you wanted to do a board and train, and hey, he pesters other dogs, and this is what he does, you gave me that exact thing that you wrote on there, we wouldn't bring your dog in and be like, okay, let's get all the little dogs that don't want to play with him, let's put him in the play yard, let's get him out there, and let's correct for that stuff. No. We would definitely work on that stuff, but it'd be towards the end, towards after all the foundation was done. And you as a consumer, as a client might be like, but you have to work that stuff because that's the problem. No, the problem is what's going on up here for him. So what we would do is work all the obedience, all the duration work around distractions, place command. No, you can't get up to go get a drink of water when you want.
Right.
You start chipping away at those moments where he's being a little pushy, a little bratty, a little entitled, and you start to see less stuff in the play yard. We start chipping away at that stuff first. Oh my God, I look terrible. Why would you do
It's a little selfie, a little Q&A selfie.
We start, you start chipping away at that stuff, and then you see less stuff in the play yard with that stuff. But
yeah, just to close that out, it's comprehensive. No, but I mean, like what Laura's saying, just to finish this up, it's comprehensive, right? You got to do specifics, but you have to do mindset, state of mind stuff as well. Cool. We're really out.
Bang. Introduce the show. I got to show my new nail color. I had to go get it because last time you made fun of me.
I like to just keep you pushing.
Keep me on my toes.
What'd your mom say to do? Keep pushing?
Push yourself.
Push yourself.
Yeah.
Push yourself for new nails every week. Okay? Let's set that bar.
That's true.
Okay. Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog, and to my left, boy, I sound like a circus hawker.
Yeah.
And to my left, I have the lovely Laura Morgan with some new nails, which what are we going, cranberry?
Yeah, they have a berry shade. Yeah, I was looking for a berry shade.
Yeah, it's almost like a raspberry or something like that.
Exactly what I said.
That's
so
cute.
I want
I
raspberry.
have to say, I kind of missed the blue.
Oh.
Well, no, just because the blue, you've got a blue thing you've got with your eyes, and you wear a lot of blue stuff.
I enjoy the blue.
Yeah, the blue's got a real
little matching thing going on.
Well, almost. Okay. Yeah. So new nails. The color. Do we know the name?
Raspberry.
Raspberry.
We'll just call
great.
it that.
Okay, great. So this is the lovely Laura Morgan with her raspberry nails, and all this stuff you can't see, all this monkey business and me swishing my mouth and everything like that makes her crazy. This is the Good Dogs Q&A Saturday number 87.
Da-da-da.
I hope that's the right number, right?
80. You're 80.
Oh, I'm 80? I thought it was always the second number.
No, because usually last time you sat on this side. This is really keeping you on your toes.
It's so unfair. It's so unfair.
All right.
What was it, 87? Let me just double check.
It's right here.
I know that, but what the hell did I write last time is the bigger question. 86. Good. We're good. All right. Okay, guys.
More.
Boom, boom, boom.
So the big 100.
Yeah, what are we going to do? Are we going to jump out of a cake?
We should travel somewhere. Or jump out of a plane.
Can I jump out of a cake?
Can I eat the cake that you jump out of?
Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. Second question.
Question number 2. This comes from Leah. This is going to be a quick answer.
Yeah.
Leah says.
It's going to be a Laura beatdown.
Might be. We rescued a dog a few weeks ago, and she has now started to chew on things. Comforter, furniture, destroyed vacuum cord, and basically whatever she decides that day. Oh, Leah, it's the worst. She is 5, and I thought she should be beyond this stage. Any suggestions? Leah?
But you just adopted her, right?
Just adopted her. Yeah. So, okay, Leah, let's just put this out there. No.
In a typical context, 5 years old would probably be great.
Yeah.
But who knows what this dog's history is?
Who knows what the history is? I don't know how long the dog was at the rescue. What I see a lot with rescues, and this isn't, I love rescues. We give out our DVD with rescues. I love rescues, support them all.
Yes.
But what I see a lot with rescues is not a lot of structure because they can't. They don't have the time or resources. So it happens. Dogs are in kennels or at fosters with people that are just have the biggest hearts and great, the great intentions, but the dogs get a lot more love and affection than they do structure and rules.
Yeah.
And what we like is to have the balance of both.
Yeah.
So a lot of what you're probably seeing is a dog that was maybe a little bit maybe had some stuff go on at the shelter or at the rescue or wherever, but there's just less structure. So now they get into a house and it's a lot of anxiety that comes out in destruction. A lot of people are just like, oh, my dog just likes to destroy things because she's bored. Sometimes that's it. That's in there, but a lot of it, to us, what we see with separation anxiety and destruction is dogs that are just more anxious, more nervous, need a little bit more structure in a new environment, don't know what to do. So what we would suggest for you, beyond like training her, training to us is a good way to relax and make your dog less anxious in general and get her in a good space. But beyond that, if you just wanted to do one thing, it would be just crate train her. So we have a crate video here that you can do, but that's not necessarily crate training. That's actually, how to bring your dog in and out of the crate after the dog's crated or crate trained. So the best thing you can do for your bank account, for her health, for your
sanity.
Vet bills, your sanity, for everything, and for her sanity mainly, is get her to be able to be in a crate. I would say 7-8 hours is tops. That's if you work all day and you have to have her in the crate, 7-8 hours is tops. In that, it would be great if you could get someone to get her out in the middle of the day. But if you're just gone to the grocery store or overnight when you're sleeping or things like that, put her in the crate. She finds her way in there. You might not want to put bedding and stuff in there to start because you want to make sure she doesn't tear that up or swallow that.
No guilt.
No. What the crate does is it provides structure when you can't be there. So a lot of clients will ask us, well, how long does the dog have to be in the crate? Until the dog's in a better space. It's not just about putting the dog in jail. It's about getting them to reduce the options, reduce the anxiety of having all this stuff around. I don't know what to do with this. I'm hearing sounds outside. I've got this going on, this. Instead, just reduces the options. This is where you lay, this is where you hang out, and that's it. So crate's your best option. Your next step up from that is to do a prong foundation kind of program with your dog. You can see our videos here.
Along with crating stuff.
Crate's a big part of that.
Yep.
It's just about, you don't want to put an anxious, worked up dog in the crate. So getting a little training on board's nice because then you have a nice trained, relaxed dog going into a crate. You leave, dog hangs out, sleeps, which they usually do anyway, the time she's not
when they're
ripping
not
up pillows.
destroying things, yes. Takes a lot of work.
It does take, it's exhausting. So just save your stuff, save your sanity. Don't worry about guilt or anything like that. The guilt would be your dog ingesting something that really harms her or eating something that actually, we've heard terrible stories about dogs that actually eat things that kill them.
Yep.
The greater guilt for me is a dog who's so worked up that they're destroying things while you're gone, and so that's their
it's
own
just anxious dogs, right? So let's put a dog in a crate so they can physically be safe and mentally be safe, right? Let's cut to the chase here, guys. So everybody who's struggling with guilt of putting their dog in the crate, you said, this dog, I hoped at 5 it would be over that. Well, maybe if it lived with you since it was 1, it would be over that. But who knows what this dog's experiences have been, that whether this dog has been crate trained, whether this dog has been an outside dog, whether this dog has been taught any rules about living interior-wise. When Manny Danny came to us, he struggled with all that stuff. He didn't have any experience with that. We had to teach him all that stuff.
And he was like 3 or
yeah, but we still had to like work on potty training. He was 3, like he should know this, but he didn't. We had to work on potty training. We had to work on counter surfing. We had to work on all. So like, let's forget about like the bummer of like, well, it should be like this, and be like, this is what we got. We adopted a rescue dog, and knowing we adopted a rescue dog means that we know that we don't have all the details and we don't know all the stuff we're going to get. Sorry about that. And that's like, that goes along with the deal. And so now your job is to like not be upset about it, but like sort it out and fix it. And the best way to do it is both training, but like if nothing else, crate training, and get that dog into a crate to where it's safe mentally and emotionally, and you don't have to sweat it, and then let that guilt go. Your dog will thank you for it.
And so will everyone in your family and your
and your furniture. Yeah. So, Amanda, I do this.
Okay, so this is not a question, but it is a quick update, and it's going to have some significance in a minute. So we're going to do this quick update right now.
You lay it on me.
Amanda says, hi Sean and Laura, so I don't have a question for you. I actually have an update and a giveaway that will be explained. I will try not to be too long. I basically have asked you guys a few times about my Weimaraner that has a bad bite history.
This is Weimaraner Palooza?
With house guests and even my kids. You guys suggested an e-collar and a professional. I've been off work with my newborn and decided to use that time to train my dogs. Being limited financially made it difficult, so I haven't gotten to hire anyone yet, but with my nifty credit card, I caved and bought one e-collar and your prong DVD, thinking I can train basics with the DVD and the e-collar stuff with your YouTube. The only issue is that I have 2 dogs that needed a lot of work and not one, so my husband and I decided to just get the 2-dog e-collar.
Nice work.
I'm still learning with the e-collar, but getting more confident with him every day, and I can have guests over now, and my Weimaraner just sits in place the whole time. She's not as anxious with the kids anymore either, but I still put her away when I can't watch her and the kids.
Great, good strategy.
Yeah, I'm so filled with happiness and excitement over getting the 3 books Sean gave out.
Oh,
and now I want to pass that kindness on to someone else. Instead of selling the 1-dog e-collar, I'd like to pass it on to someone else who really needs it but is on the fence because of the cost. So
that kindness is rippling out. It's rippling out, you guys.
So awesome, Amanda.
I love this community.
The only thing I want to make sure is that your e-collar work, I hope the YouTube videos are enough for that. Just let us know how that's all going with the YouTube videos. I guess probably cost, because the e-collar DVD is more expensive.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering why you chose to purchase the prong DVD. But let us know how that all goes, because we'd love to help you out with that.
Yeah, I think she was strategizing that she could do the prong stuff.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Didn't know, but it's probably easier to do prong stuff for free, and then e-collar stuff with the DVD.
But either way, it's great, and let us know how it all goes. We'd love.
You're already rocking and rolling. Yeah. Just the fact that her dog is like calm and not being nutty in the house and like laying in place.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So proud of you, and that's just so kind, Amanda. This always gets paid forward. Everything that you do gets paid forward, whether it's in something, tangible back to you, or just like the thought of giving someone who needs something like that, something is just so awesome. Yeah. So, anyway, thank you so much. Yeah. And we're going to jump this right into question number 3. Yep. Question number 3 is from Sarah. Sarah says, I hope this is still open. You guys are amazing. I'm obsessed with watching your videos. That's cool, Sarah. My question... I'm fostering a 3-year-old beagle mix named Puddles. She was scheduled for euthanasia due to kennel aggression, like growling and snapping, but was pulled by our rescue the day before. Her family was homeless for a long time and eventually had to surrender her to the shelter, where she didn't assimilate well. I've had my fair share of pushy, rude, anxious, shut-down fosters, but Puddles takes the cake.
Puddles.
I've had her for 3 months, and she 100% believes she's the head bitch in charge. I love that. In the house, she pulls what I like to call power moves on all the dogs. Neck biting, ramming, chasing, and anything it takes them.
What a wonderful dog.
It takes to get them on their backs. I let her in the yard last, and she'll chase my Irish wolfhound to plow into her every time. Wow. When I call her off, she shoots me side-eye for a second. Ooh, that side-eye. And gets back to work as soon as I shift my attention elsewhere. She'll also mark anytime I get onto her in the house. Wow. Often. It's always in my bedroom, that little hoe. Yeah, not mine. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. This is definitely Sarah. I love it. She's never tried biting me and hasn't growled at me since the second day I had her. When I take her to adoption events, she acts a fool, lunging, snapping, staring, barking. It's
Just
more
love
with
how
men.
she's worded all this.
Yeah, she'll track people with her eyes, and you can see her thought process go from observation to defensive. It's equals parts fascinating and terrifying. She's on a prong outside the house and screams through the pain, discomfort of as she goes for blood. I had a trainer confirm that she's wearing it correctly, so she's just brattying.
Yeah, being super vocal.
It's charming, no doubt. She's been on the rescue's radar as unadoptable for a while, but I'd love so much for that not to be her reality.
Yeah.
She's a bitch, but I love her. Any tips to get her more responsive to my behavior mod techniques with the prong and for her to stop being such a crazy hoe? Sarah,
wow, awesome. Sarah, you laid it on, lady. I like your creative lingo.
Yes.
Okay, let me jump into this. I know we're getting a little long in the tooth with this one.
Cool.
Sorry, LaDawn. Okay, so this is some superhero work on your part, right? This is like taking on dogs that most people don't want to take on. Yeah. This is heavy duty stuff. This is dogs that are like coming in, uprooting your whole life, like turning your pack upside down. It's a lot. It really is hero work, and a lot of people wouldn't be down for it. So like, super props to you.
Yeah.
Now, secondarily, we wouldn't even consider this case if you called us and contacted us without doing e-collar work.
Yeah.
There's no way we would want to do anything with this without e-collar work, because the limitations built into that with just leash and prong, and especially if the leash and prong aren't on, are going to be so significant that you're going to struggle. And what's going to happen is that dog's going to be super empowered, because the dog's going to know what your limitations are, what the struggles are. You're too far away from me to correct. You can't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me, all that stuff. And you're going to see a lot of crappy behavior. Why? Because the dog enjoys crappy behavior. So now, if you did a full e-collar program, right, which I get into right here, which is like, she needs e-collar, like, and I know you didn't mention e-collar, but I just hear me out. So e-collar heel, sit, down, place, recall, once those are super solid, I want you to start correcting crappy behavior. So first of all, baby steps, get your e-collar, start training all of these basic foundational kind of things. Get that dog's state of mind in such a listening, such a like responsive, like Laura said, hopping to mode, like boom, boom, boom. The dog, like, there's so much value in teaching a dog place, and a dog that's like really pushy, all it wants to do is like, screw you, I'm gonna step off a place. And when you correct and start creating boundaries with that, or a dog that wants to pull and be reactive on walks, and you're like, you walk right here. And if you move past this spot or behind this spot, you get corrected. Or if you look at that dog in an untoward fashion, you get corrected. It changes the state of mind from this bratty hoe to a dog that's like, cool, what do you need me to do? And that might take some work. It doesn't mean it's like instantaneous, but that's a huge part of what you guys need to do, is you need to like get the right tools, and then you need to creating a completely fundamental, foundational, comprehensive shift in how you work and engage with this dog. I want this dog to know that at any distance you can address, communicate, and correct. I want that crystal clear. And what'll happen is, once this dog, who's like pile driving the other dogs and being a jackass, starts learning that like mom has control, or if you don't want to call yourself mom, like, you know, auntie has control, then all of a sudden you're going to see some massive changes in that dog's behavior. So, like I said, once solid with all those behaviors, start correcting crappy behavior around other dogs. Start low, don't like go super high and blast the dog. What we want to do is like, the dog should be heavily conditioned to the e-collar, but when you start getting around dogs and are seeing like not great behavior, I don't want you to go super high. I want you to start low. We can get higher, but I want you to start low, so if the dog is over here being snotty and you lay a big correction, the dog doesn't redirect on the other dog. What I want is, starts to get snotty, pop, and the dog's like, pop, oh crap, and I have to start thinking about it. You don't need to say a word. You can be through your kitchen window, you can be doing anything. But I'm telling you, the ability to cultivate great behavior through e-collar communication and correction with dogs that are being rude, obnoxious, bratty, stubborn, pushy, bullies, like, you can change that stuff so quick that it would blow your mind. doing it with just leash and prong or just au naturel or squirt bottles or body pressure, spatial pressure, man, that is so tough and such a losing battle. Get into the e-collar work and watch, like, if you really want to keep this dog in your home and you really want to, like, for your own, like, your own gusto, your own challenge, your own Mount Everest, turn this dog around. That's what I would do. You send that dog to me, that's exactly what I would do. I would do all of the foundational stuff, right? It's always double pronged. All the foundational stuff to get the state of mind, listening, respectful, handler respect, impulse control, state of mind shift, calming the dog down, taking the dog down from up here to down here, and then addressing the dog for any kind of like specific residual crappy behavior in specific contexts. And like, you won't believe how quick that stuff can be changed. Once again, don't go super high, start low. You can get higher as needed, but start low and get your dog accustomed to it.
Yeah, sometimes you just see this stuff like 50 to 80% start, well, you always see 50 to 80% of the bad behavior start to wear away just as you get as a more obedient, foundational dog. I mean, I admire her moxie and like her just being like, she's probably just run roughshod.
Queen of the world.
Over every foster, every rescue. She's like, if anyone has ever read the book Great Gilly Hopkins, that's like one of my favorite references just for like dogs. You've never read it.
No.
But it's a good, she's a foster kid and she prides herself on every foster she's ever run through. They kick her out. Like, how fast can I get kicked out of foster homes? And it's just it's a great book. But she has a spirit to her and a spunk. But by you, like, talk about like a cool bond, by you actually being able to like get this dog in order, you may get a dog who's like, oh, I've met my match. Okay, all right, I'll be good for you.
You might find something really cool,
special about her.
Yeah, when you can work with dogs that do have that spirit and that kind of like persnickety thing, and you can actually match it and tame it and harness it. You can see dogs that are like, wow, cool, me and you, we got a thing, right?
We're bonded. I listen to you.
No one else has ever been able to tell me what to do or conquer my silliness. So, and then the last thing about this, she shouldn't be doing any wandering around your house, right? Like, you've heard the Laura lockdown. The whole thing is like, anything that contributes to a dog feeling empowered, entitled, loosey-goosey, that's going to allow her to like claim space, get into your space, whatever, bully the other dogs, posture, look at the other dogs wrong, all that stuff's going to be counterproductive for you. So that dog should be working its rear end off, and that doesn't look like fun stuff. It looks like place command, place command, place command, recall, place command, zip it up, I don't want to hear a word. Other dogs can move around and do their thing. You zip it up and stay there because you haven't earned the good stuff, right? So make sure that duration and locking down, like Laura said last episode, the concept of a dog in a bad space, wandering, sends shivers down her spine. And the reason it sends shivers is not because she's sensitive or cold or, you know, needs a new sweatshirt.
That was for a aggressive dog.
Yeah, but the point is still the same. We never allow wandering here unless we're doing supervised stuff with like outside, inside, something like that. Because what it does is you're trying to tell a dog, like, listen to humans, be respectful, be tuned in, be in a good space, and then you say, go do your thing. And the dog's not far enough along to manage itself and give its best stuff.
No, especially
so here's the thing. What we're hoping to do is maybe tie in Amanda's very generous donation of an e-collar to perhaps, if it all goes right, to Miss Sarah. Now, if we can tie this together and make it work.
I guess, Sarah, the big thing is for you, if you feel like, especially because it's a foster, if you feel like this is a dog that, you know, if you do a ton of foster work and an e-collar would help you so big time, and you've got some, and we know it would, and you've got some stuff with her that you could work out, you know, if you are in need of an e-collar, I think you guys would be a perfect match. All you need to do is just email me at thegooddogway@gmail.com. This is for Sarah. And then just let me know if this is an offer that you'd want to take advantage of, especially because you work with a lot of fosters. It'd be so cool.
Man, Can you imagine, like, our whole dream is that shelter and foster folks start using leash and prong and e-collar stuff to where they can actually get dogs like this beagle. You send me this beagle, I'm not bragging, you send me this beagle, that beagle will be towing the line within a week. And it's not because we're like fancy pants, it's because we'd use the right tools, right program, right strategy, right approach.
We have the right like mindset for them.
And if the most important thing for me and Laura is to impart that to you guys, because we can only do so much, but if we can get you guys with that information or run with it, boy, the impact can be phenomenal. So
let us know, Sarah. But if you feel good about finances and getting an e-collar is cool for you,
if you're loaded, then buy somebody else an e-collar.
then you can let me know if you want to like not take that offer, and then Amanda and then anyone else can put their hat in the ring at this same email up here, Amanda, for Amanda's generous offer.
Yeah, I would love to see if you are in any kind of a tight spot, or if you just like, I just don't have the dough to spend on like shelter or rescue stuff like that. I've already put money into it. Like, Amanda's offer is so freaking generous, and we'd love to tie you guys together and like this community, like help each other out and make great stuff happen. So that's what we got to say. And just real quick, but real quick, this is super important because I haven't really touched on it. Any of these dogs that I've recommended, any like regular obedience, sit down, place, recall, heel, any of that stuff, no matter what tool you're on, go to our website up with do-it-yourself videos?
Just go to this link. Just don't worry about that. Yeah,
YouTube?
Go to this link. Yeah.
Okay. And look up like Learn to Train the Good Dog Way and all that stuff. And you can actually go through those videos and they'll teach you step by step how to do all this work with e-collar and with prong. So I don't want you like jumping in here and trying to sort it out on yourself or like just like surfing the net. We've got plenty of like step by step videos that can really help you. All right. Go kill it. Go kill it.
Question number 4 comes from Instagram, Tatian2974. Tatian says, I really like to thank you for all your videos. I adopted a 2-year-old dog 3 months ago. She's extremely high energy shepherd and pit bull mix. When I got her, she was very disrespectful, didn't know any commands, extremely leash reactive, but now she knows how to walk on leash, sit, stay, heel, and come when called. I just introduced her to the e-collar and she's doing great. However, I took her to a hike and now, and she did great during the hike, but the next day on the leash, she started to pull and bark. I'd like to know how much freedom or slack can I give her without messing up her progress? Was it too soon for her to go on a hike? She's only been on the e-collar for 2 weeks. You have no idea how helpful you guys have been. Thank you.
Awesome.
That's so awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And that's Instagram, right? Okay. Okay.
All right.
This one's you.
Me?
Baby cakes.
Okay, so Tatiana, thank you so much for the question. I'm so excited that you actually like went through our videos and you actually like trained your dog fully on our videos. That's awesome. Okay, so you've been on the e-collar for 2 weeks, or the dog's been on the e-collar for 2 weeks, and you're trying to figure out like what's your like how much freedom versus how much structure, and if there was something like maybe that the hike caused. What I wanted to know is that was the hike off leash? Did it seem like that to you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so like if the hike was off leash and just had a little bit more freedom, my hope would be that you were using the e-collar commands and the e-collar work to kind of keep your dog in like a tight bubble around you. Just because if it was a little bit more free, even if it was just like she was on e-collar, your dog was on e-collar and kind of wandering on a big kind of area, that freedom, if your dog tends towards more of that sort of independence or that stuff, that freedom might have caused that next day walk to be a little weird. Like, hey, wait a second, we're more loose here. Or even just like more of like an anxiety that comes from that looseness. You were tightening up all this stuff. What we see a lot, or not a lot because we work with this with owners, but like dogs come to us, they go through our program and they're super like comfortable and relaxed and not reacting or doing anything weird on any of their old stuff. They go home, and if owners start to loosen up too soon, things start to unravel. And it's not because the dog isn't trained, it's because the dog starts to go, whoa, but I liked all that structure, and now you're giving me more freedom, right? So what I would say is it's not necessarily too soon, especially if you feel good with the e-collar, especially if you feel good, right, with like all the commands and everything you're feeling, and the dog seems responsive and you're getting that, and it feels like a safe hike and something that nothing major is going to go on. But I would say maybe it's just too soon. Maybe you guys just need more time. Like that's a pretty solid example. Like you went out on the hike, the next day you had issues. So most likely that's what went on, unless it was just a terrible walk the next day. So I would say let's ease off on the hike. Let's wait a little bit longer. And when you do introduce the hike, maybe in another 2 weeks, 4 weeks, let's try to keep it as structured as possible. So if she starts to wander, if your dog starts to wander, you call her back to you and put her in like a loose kind of follow me heel type of thing around you, instead of her just being like wandering all around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anything to add?
I had a lot of similar stuff. I just said it might be too soon, might be too much excitement. She's probably expecting, just because of the contrast of like this loosey-goosey fun like hats and horns thing, that the next day she's like, what do you mean this structured thing? So the contrast could be a bit much for her straight away. I would say that if you are going to continue to do the hikes, then that necessitates that everything else you do, whether it's the heel or anything else in the house, it's kick butt time, right? So if you're going to say like, cool, we're going to have this freedom and fun, but when I tell you it's place, or when I tell you to heel, or when I tell you to recall, or whatever it is, it's like that. Non-negotiable, get your ass over here and like really get the dog to buy in. Because if you're going to give all this good stuff, you got to make sure it's tempered with all this other stuff in order for the dog to stay in balance and not be like, woohoo, this is what we get to do.
And that stuff of like the dog being like, you may not be as accustomed to the e-collar yet, and the dog might not be, so that quick, like straight on the money recall and all that stuff might not be there yet. So you might.
It takes time, right? So to go out and do recall, like off leash and around dogs or anything like that, takes practice, takes time to get like, how quick can you get on the dial up above the dog or ahead of the dog, get the dog back, make sure you're using appropriate levels, staying calm, staying cool, reading the environment, all that stuff. That's expertise that takes time. So I would move slow for you, make sure your mechanics and your read are all rock solid, and move slow for your dog so your dog gets very accustomed to it. And then contrast wise, when you go back to like, hey, this is like a mundane life, like walking, you walk like this, and I will absolutely hold you to this to the highest degree. And I will walk slower with you than what you want to walk. And I will actually have you in duration work in place while I waltz around the house or dance around the house or anything. Like, challenge that dog to give you its best stuff, so when you get all this freedom fun stuff, the dog is like, I know how to do this and I know how to do this. I would really focus on that stuff. So
because you guys are building right now, you're building a relationship that's a little bit more. You used to have all this monkey business go on, and now you've done all this awesome work on our videos. And gotten things like to a really great space. So just take your time. I know it's hard, especially when dogs are doing great. You're like, oh, I just want all the fun stuff. That fun stuff will be there, promise you. So you might just want to hang out a little bit longer, just get your skills, get her skills, get your bond, get all the stuff rocking and rolling, and then you'll get there.
I think your advice about going slow, maybe avoiding the hikes temporarily until you get all that other stuff on board is probably really solid advice. Then when everything's just so perfect, then go out, start challenging, and like Laura said, make sure you include structure in those recalls, right? Or in that off-leash work. Dog goes out, break, gets 20 feet away, come, boom, check in with you, or lay down, and then you walk away or do circles, and your dog's like, wow, I'm free, I could go anywhere, there's dogs everywhere, and I'm still listening. Man, you start to create some massively great stuff with the dog's mindset.
And you're not hesitant, because that's what we see a lot with owners. The reason why we make it so locked down is because they're still hesitant on the collar. They're just learning, and the dog's not necessarily hesitant, but that's 2-week program with us, which is a board and train, which is what we do for a living. So 2 weeks with you is the dog might still be learning, still hesitant. It's really early.
And you might still be learning and hesitant.
That's what I mean, definitely. So just take your time. All that stuff, I promise you, in a couple months, you're going to be writing us on IG and being like, this is awesome. Everything's great. I'm rocking. My dog's rocking. And I'm not getting any of that weird stuff. So.
Yeah. I think you'll get over this hump real easy if you just follow those directions. I think it's going to be perfect.
Sounds good.
So, cool.
All right.
That
is
Tatiana. Is it Tatiana or just Tatiana?
I clicked on her name. It's Tatiana.
She's trying to like give us the slip with like losing some letters, some vowels.
Take off your
Boom. Okay, cool.
Right, thanks.
That's an interesting question, isn't it?
Yeah, that's weird.
You can just imagine if a dog just like went out and was like total tomfoolery, and then you're like, and now we're gonna heal.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go bananas.
Yeah.
It's like I can totally. It's like you took a kid to Disneyland, and then the next day he's like back in school. He's like, this is the worst thing ever.
A kid that's been getting better. A kid that's like working on getting better at whatever, like being more behaved. All of a sudden you're like, you know what?
But might also have had a history of like
that's
getting
what
his
I mean.
stuff.
Yeah, like, and then all of a sudden, hey, Disneyland time. Oh, Ashley. Okay, question number 5.
You can address Ashley.
I want to write my question. Ashley was a shadow student of ours.
Who's an
sheriff.
awesome dude.
Awesome guy.
He's an actual sheriff. Trains all sorts of protection dogs and working dogs and stuff like that.
He's got whole stuff.
Lots of skills.
He's got Gold Hill Canine up north, and he's just doing great stuff.
Is the city Gold Hill? Where he lives?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a cool name.
Yeah.
But he says, the sheriff, because he calls Cujo the sheriff. It's a long story. He says, I don't have a question. I just miss all of you. Oh, I love
miss
that.
you too, buddy.
I'm just going to send a bunch of hearts because I just love him.
And I invited him down. There's a couple of comments. I was like, come on down, man.
That's great. He's the best.
He was making bad jokes about the assault gun. He's like, I knew you guys would be ready for the assault. Get it? Assault. And he's like, I'm rolling on the ground with my own jokes. Yeah. So, anyways.
Okay.
We love you in spite of that joke.
Question number 5 comes from Anna.
Yeah.
Anna says, how do you stop a dog from pooping 5 times during an off-leash walk? He doesn't need to poop.
This might be your specialty.
Oh my gosh, why? Why would you say that? Oh yeah. He doesn't need to poop, but he does it out of OCD, and he only does like this when he's off leash. And of course, after the second poop, he just starts to have diarrhea.
The old Rennie Fawcett trick. So,
both of us on this question. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just looking out this morning at Cujo and Hercules in the yard here.
Oh yeah, we just had a combo about this.
And they were both pooping, and I was like, they were just at home pooping. Like
with the yard.
With a yard, yeah. Like I just moved into a place with a yard.
Fresh sod.
And then they come here and they poop. And I'm like, why? Like how and why?
Because Uncle Sean's place is far more exciting.
I guess, but it's like, how? Like, is it?
There's more space. There's more dogs.
No, but how? Like physically, like.
It doesn't matter. It's excitement. Excitement stimulates the bowels.
But didn't they like get rid of all of it at home? I guess not.
I would say no. Right? So, Ashley. So no,
it's not Ashley.
I mean Anna. Yeah. So how do you stop excessive pooping off leash?
Yeah.
My first answer is you don't. Okay? It's all excitement stuff. It causes bowel movement. It's just like, that's just the way it goes, especially with my kind of more keyed up, like more like a little bit more anxious dogs.
Yeah.
You're going to see that a lot more often.
Yeah.
Low key, super, I don't give a crap about anything dogs. They can probably like go to exciting places and be like, my bowels, we're solid and we don't have any problems or any, we don't have any fluctuations going on. But like Cujo gets very excited, right? Hercules gets very excited.
Yes.
So I really believe that like it's much more about the dog, and I'd love for you to kind of let go of the feeling of like, it sounds like almost like the dog's doing it like spitefully, like the OCD. Like I doubt it's OCD and I doubt it's spite. It's most likely like the off-leash, because it's not even a walk, it's the off-leash stuff.
Yeah.
Is for most dogs the most exciting, invigorating, juicy.
It's like the dog stuff. They're like doing what they want to do. It's like the most dog they can get as like domesticated animals.
So then what do you think that that does to their internal system if they're that excited?
They're just going. They gotta go.
Right?
You gotta go. You gotta go.
It's just kind of the way it works, right? So I would say like let's kind of like disconnect from or jettison that whole concept of like OCD or being spiteful stuff, and like let's look at it real nuts and bolts. We've got excited dogs doing some kind of an activity in a context that typically creates the most excitement with dogs, and like you say he's great here and there, and like this is OCD. I just don't buy it. I really think you've got a dog that's probably sensitive, probably anxious, probably gets really worked up. If you messaged back and he was like, he's the most laid back dude, he gets out of the car at like quarter speed, he walks right next to me, he doesn't give a crap about sniffing anything, I'd be like, well, that's weird. But my suspicion is you got a lot of action. You got like jumping out of the car, and you got like, what the hell is going on, and blah 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 blah. Of course you're going to get more stuff with those kind of dogs with a more nervous system. So that's something really important for you to check in. I would say that if this is something newer for you guys, the hope would be that it would fade over time, that as your dog gets more acclimated, more accustomed, that like there's not the novelty and the contrast of like, holy crap, I'm outside and I'm free to go. That if that's a very common thing, that you should probably see that diminish over time. You haven't really seen that with Cujo too much, have you?
No, I mean, maybe at the park. He used to go a lot more at the park a few times.
And he's chilled out about that a little bit.
But also, like, just on a weird practical note, but you say that he's not really doing it in other contexts. I found it to be a food issue too. So I was finding that he just has sensitive stuff anyway with some food stuff. So I changed it, and now his food's really good, and now I'm not getting as much of that. Not getting the soft stuff, not getting the diarrhea or any of that, like the excitement stuff after that. You may still get more stuff, but you might want to check into food stuff if there is.
Can you link up right here the Good Dog cork? I know it could be a little politically incorrect. The Good Dog cork has been specially designed for more excitable dogs, dogs that have like some bowel issues, and dogs that need a little bit more like, like here's a good example. Jeff Gelman getting off the plane with Uma when Uma was still his service dog. Uma was probably a little excited on the plane, probably a little nervous. She was waltzing off the plane with Jeff, and she had a massive diarrhea outbreak down the entire aisle of the airplane, right? Now, if Jeff would have invested in the Good Dog cork, he could have probably, and you can even like get that cork with a little like tether that hooks like the collar so you don't actually ever lose it.
Anyway.
And that can actually help the dog make sure that like in those moments where, no, but I'm serious, in those moments where it's like, it's challenging, you're teetering on the edge, it might just buy you that extra few minutes to get out of the airport, to, do the stuff you need to do.
$29.99.
So it's
3 payments of $40.
3 easy payments.
3 easy payments of $40.
That's a big, like $29.99 or
pay it up front.
Oh, okay, so really you want to penalize, right?
I don't like credit.
So the thing is, we drink the wine bottles, and then we come up with the cork bottles, and then we like sanitize them and send them out.
All right.
So, anyways, all foolishness aside, I was just gonna say like, part of this might just be like who your dog is, and like so many of us want our dogs to be like perfect. So much of owning a dog, so much of being in a relationship with anybody is about compromises and adjusting, and adapting. And to want like perfect dogs, perfect relationships, perfect friendships, those are losing battles. Losing battles that you're going to be disappointed, frustrated, annoyed, and not going to enjoy whoever it is or whatever it is being your dog. So I'd work on like maybe tweaking, adjusting a little bit of that, and being like, if the worst we've got is a happy pooper, it's just really...
Is that going to be a TGD bite?
It might be. If the worst we've got is a happy pooper, you're okay. But honestly, like I think keeping things in perspective is super important, because you could have any number of dogs that can't be off leash because they attack other dogs or they go after people or things like that. If you've just got a dog who's pooping excessively, like he's just probably nervous and anxious and excited about it. And I'd really encourage you to let it go so you can just kind of enjoy him more. And bring lots of bags. Give it away.
Okay, guys.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
All right. we've got a giveaway. This email came to me saying, "Hi, my name is Manny. And I work in behavior department at the Palm Springs Animal Shelter.
I love this.
I read your post about the use of training from the prong collar DVD at another shelter, and I felt really inspired. Here in Palm Springs, we're already open to all tools and try to practice balanced interactions. I'm very eager to learn new things in hopes to teach the dogs skills to make them all more adoptable. I would certainly be grateful to receive a copy as mentioned in the post. Please let me know if this is still possible. Thanks very much for the content online." And of course I wrote him back and I just said, you know, you're in the running sort of thing, and he just said, here in Palm Springs, we're operating under a no-kill philosophy, which means we'll do whatever it takes to get to adoptable behavior, even if that means using tools that are taboo. We believe that there are many ways to get through to a dog. If a dog isn't taking food, like in positive-only stuff, it's still up to us to find a way to make a difference for that dog.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so cool. I mean, that's the future, guys. I'm just I'm so excited.
It's happening, guys. Yeah.
So Manny, send me your address to send that DVD.
You didn't get an address from Manny?
No. We announce it here on the show. Just send me your address, and we're happy to send you the Prong Foundation DVD. And please just let us know how it goes and all that stuff. It's so cool.
Does Manny listen to Q&A?
Yeah, I mean, that's where he
found us.
Oh,
yeah, great. I was just going to say email him if he doesn't watch this or something like that.
No, people always check in. They always got it. So just send us your address, and it's really awesome. We're happy to help. And any videos you can send, any updates, we get updates from a lot of these people that we've given DVDs to, and it's makes our week. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So just let us know.
Yeah, guys. So Just I don't know where I was going with that, but I think I was thinking about giveaway stuff. Just keep the emails coming in. Anybody that wants to take our DVD, implement it, and start doing great stuff with it, even in small, like a tiny little rescue or a little shelter, man, we're behind you. We really want to see if we can make a change on this and start getting dogs with mild stuff, that easy stuff to be fixed, pulling on leash and jumping and mouthing. Let's get rid of that stuff. It's so easy. There's no reason for dogs or owners to be struggling or suffering. It's so easy to fix.
Yeah, guys, we're here for that. That's really a big picture thing for us. So let us know if you're a rescue or you know a rescue, and you can also specify in your email if you don't want your name out there, if you don't want us reading all this stuff here on Q&A. I don't care. I won't read your stuff. We put out a video of a shelter that's going to remain nameless just because they don't want all the wrath of some pure positive stuff coming down on them if they're using a prong collar. God forbid they're getting their dogs adopted out. So if you don't want us to read names or anything like that, who cares? You'll still be in the running, and I'll still just read the basics.
Yeah, we're not going to penalize you.
No, definitely not. If I got a bunch of anonymous, or where I get the details and the the nonprofit or whatever, but say you have to leave the details off the Q&A show, fine, totally great.
We got you. We got you back.
So let us know, guys. We love you very much.
We do. I think this is the end of another fantastic show. We are creeping towards 100. What are we going to do for this?
Do you guys have any ideas?
Yeah, let's hear some ideas.
Yeah. Jumping out of a cake, jumping out of a plane.
Can I eat the cake after I jump out?
No, I can eat the cake.
Can we share?
Yes.
Okay.
And be a big cake.
No strawberries in the cake.
No.
No fruit, nothing like that.
No fruit.
People put strawberries in cake.
Yeah, I've done that. I mean, strawberry shortcake.
Really sad.
You don't like strawberry shortcake?
Who just had strawberries in their cake? And I was like, wow, what a depressing ruining of a dessert.
Terrible
what a great way to ruin a dessert. I can't remember where it was. It might have been at Emma's, my little nieces. And I was like, oh, strawberries in your cake. Anyways, sorry guys, I digress. Anyways, we love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Yep. I was going to say one more time, and then this is not about self-promotion, but we are so excited. We're watching these numbers go up, and it's pretty cool. I don't know if you've been watching, but it's gone from 400 to 500 to 600, and it's really starting to move. And our goal goal is to get everybody to where we're hitting 1,000 viewers a week, and it's creeping up there with all you guys' support because you guys are so damn awesome.
Crazy.
So
Awesome.
we'll keep trying to bring you guys all sorts of great value, all sorts of great answers and giveaways and cool stuff. Anything you think that we should be adding, hit us up, let us know, send messages. We want to make this the best we can for you guys.
Yep.
So with that,
Cool.
we're out of here.
Thank you.
Indian food time.
Yes. Woo.
Boom.
See ya.
Nice work, lady.
Thank you. Nails. Hey.
See you guys.
Oh,
Bye.
and vote what color you'd want next in a couple weeks.
Blue.
Blue.
The blue just works.
Yeah, it does.
All right, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.